Today's stage winner.
Oh, crash.
Oh,
Massive
big crash in the peloton.
Oh.
Loads of riders are down.
The Tour de France should have been another step toward glory. Instead, it left Spain's Grand Tour star battling something far more dangerous than rivals on the road. Doctors have stepped in, his season is gone, and his career now hangs in the balance. Enric Mas has been Spain's brightest Grand Tour hope for years. With 4 podiums at the Vuelta a España, he carried Movistar's ambitions on his shoulders. But now, those ambitions are on hold. At the 2025 Tour de France, during the stage to Mûr-de-Bretagne, Mas was caught in a mass crash that also brought down João Almeida, Eddie Dunbar, and Jack Haig. Some abandoned immediately, but Mas kept going. He fought on until the Alps, but his left leg worsened. Tests revealed the problem, a serious clot. Unlike a broken bone, this condition has no clear timeline. It requires rest, treatment, and possibly surgery. Now, Mas has been sidelined for the rest of the season. For a rider at his peak, that's devastating. For Spanish fans, it's heartbreaking. Has their most consistent GC rider just lost his chance to stay among the world's best? The Tour de France is always dangerous. High speeds and crowded roads mean crashes are part of the sport. On the Mûr-de-Bretagne stage, a huge fall brought down several contenders. Enric Mas went down too. Unlike Dunbar and Haig, who quit right away, he kept racing. For several days he pushed through, hoping the pain would ease. But his leg began to swell, and his energy dropped. Doctors later confirmed the injury in his left leg. Mas admitted later that he would have preferred something more straightforward to recover from. This new condition was far less predictable. Perhaps the team doctors are more accustomed to this, he said, but we are not. The crash had ended his tour, but worse, it began an uncertain medical fight. Instead of battling rivals in the Alps, Mas now faced the scariest challenge of his career. When the news came out, many fans were shocked. Thrombophlebitis is not an injury we often hear about in cycling, but what does it mean? In simple terms, it's a blood clot in a vein. Sometimes it comes after trauma, like a crash. The clot can block blood flow and cause swelling. In serious cases, it can even travel to the lungs and become life-threatening. That's why doctors take it so seriously. Mas himself explained, "It's not painful, but I cannot ride. It's not like a muscle injury. It's the vein, and it needs time." Doctors have banned him from any training. No riding, no running, no gym. For a cyclist whose life is built around constant training, that's extremely difficult. Mas said, "It's very tough not to be able to go out on your bike because of your injuries, but I have to accept that. The plan now is rest, monitoring, and eventually surgery. After that, doctors will decide when he can start again. But there's no fixed timeline." Mas admitted he doesn't know if he'll race again in January, February, March, or even April. For Movistar, this uncertainty is a nightmare. Their leader is out, and his return is unknown. For Mas, it's worse. His whole career is on hold. The Vuelta a España is Mas's home race. Spanish fans wait each year to cheer him on. He's been their most reliable GC rider, with podiums in 2018, 2021, 2022, and 2024. But in 2025, for the first time since 2019, he wasn't there. Movistar also lost Nairo Quintana to injury, leaving them without a leader. Instead of fighting for the red jersey, the team had to chase stage wins. For Spanish fans, it wasn't the same. Mas visited briefly, greeting teammates at stage 7 inches Andorra. He admitted it was painful to watch instead of ride. His absence left a hole in the race. Without Mas, Spain had no homegrown star in contention. The Vuelta lost some of its fire, and fans were reminded how important he island. Despite the setback, Mas has been open about his feelings. Speaking to Spanish media during the Vuelta, he admitted the injury is unlike anything he's faced before. "It's more frightening because we're used to muscle or bone injuries, and in this case, it's, let's say, venous. Maybe the team doctors are used to it, but we're not," Mas said. He added that while the injury doesn't cause pain, it has completely stopped him from training. "It doesn't really hurt, but I've stopped riding and training completely," he said. Mas has admitted that his recovery won't be quick. He explained that everything depends on the timeline doctors set for him. First comes a follow-up, then surgery, and only after that will he know when training and racing can begin again. He also confessed how mentally draining it has been. Fans praised his honesty. They could see the frustration in his words, but also determination to recover. Mas may be down, but he has not given up. For now, his focus is simple. Follow the doctor's orders, rest, and wait for the green light to return. At 30 years old, Mas should be in his prime. But cycling is brutal. Missing a year could cost him dearly. He has been Spain's best GC rider since Valverde and Contador retired. Movistar has built its Grand Tour hopes around him, but new stars are rising fast. Juan Ayuso and Carlos Rodriguez are already podium contenders. Remco Evenepoel, João Almeida, and others are fighting for every Grand Tour. If Mas misses most of 2026, will he still have a place at the top? Fans fear this injury could push him from leader to support rider. Mas knows time is short. His career isn't finished, but this setback could define it. Either he returns as a contender, or his era as Spain's leader may be over. Mas's case is also a warning for cycling. Crashes are common, but this shows how hidden injuries can change everything. The clot came after a crash many thought was minor. Mas even kept racing for days. Only later did doctors discover the danger. Could stopping earlier have made a difference? Should teams be stricter about medical checks after crashes? Cycling's union has already asked for stronger safety rules. Riders are pushing for medical decisions to come before race ambitions. For fans, this is a reminder. Behind the glory of the Tour and Vuelta, riders face huge risks. Mas's story proves that not every injury is visible. Some are silent and far more dangerous. Enric Mas's crash at the Tour de France may be the turning point of his career. It ended his season, forced him out of the Vuelta, and left his future uncertain. Spain has few riders who can fight for Grand Tour podiums. Without Mas, their hopes now rest on younger stars. Mas has been honest. He doesn't know when he'll return, but he hasn't given up. He wants to recover and come back stronger. Will he? That's the big question. If he returns in 2026, it could be the greatest comeback of his career. If not, the fall at Mûr-de-Bretagne may be remembered as the moment that ended his time at the top. Either way, Enric Mas's fight is not just about racing. It's about proving he can overcome one of the toughest challenges of his life.